Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good night, and welcome to Jazzy Conversations. I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
And we're excited to be here.
Listen, thanks for checking in.
Welcome to Jazzy Conversations. I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
And G, let's do it.
Come on, Teef.
Episode 24.
24 and counting. Come
I'm
on.
excited. 6 months, G.
Yeah.
Went by like that.
Listen, anybody that knows me knows this about me. When an idea comes into being, that's the thing that's most exciting. I still remember when you said, I got this idea.
And G, you still got that same energy, and I love it. I love it. Oh, you know, I got to give a big shout out. This is very important.
What's the big shout?
So, next week is his birthday, and he said, Teef, can you do me a huge big favor? And I said, of course. Doc Ed Joyner. Birthday's next week. So Miss Shirley.
Yes.
Love Joyner wants to dedicate this to her husband, Dr. Ed Joyner, and Dr. Ed Joyner, who supports us
absolutely big
wants
time,
to dedicate to his beautiful wife, Shirley Love Joyner.
So, look at that mutual dedication.
I'm with you. Absolutely.
That's beautiful. Happy birthday, Doc.
Happy birthday.
We love you.
Happy birthday. So here we go, G.
Yeah, here we
Here's
go.
the part of the show. Now let's see how much energy you have today, okay? Because we're bringing on a hit maker.
I got energy for this.
This song right here. How many weddings? I mean, proms. I mean, all the different things. He knows this song was like prom, weddings, dances,
weddings, anniversary dinners. This is the song.
What song? How's it?
You know what? How the song? When I'm with you.
Ooh. Tony's like, stop! Don't try to steal my song now. G, give it to me.
Oh man!
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Tony Terry coming on.
Yes.
But before we bring Tony Terry on, Gigi and I have a fun game we play, as you guys know, every week, and we want you guys to play with us. All right. So I have 5 questions.
I wish you could cheat and give me the answers up front, but you know we don't allow it.
5 questions, trivia questions, and she has 5 seconds
all right.
on each question. So the first one, G, you ready?
I'm ready. I think I need more than 5 seconds, but go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Three's Company.
I love the show.
There were 4 women living in a house with Jack Tripper. Give me the 4 women that lived with him.
There were 2 women.
Well, yes, it was 2, but over the course of the 9 years that it was.
Oh, who was in the Okay, I got you. So there's Chrissy and Janet. Chrissy's the blonde, Janet's the brunette. And then she moved in later on. Terry moved in. I think she was a nurse. She came in later. Yeah. That's 3.
Ooh, look at
I think there was only 3.
No,
I remember 3.
No, it was 4. So it was Janet,
check. Chrissy, check.
Cindy, and Terry. Cindy was the one with the blonde she was tall and kind of glitzy.
She wasn't there while
she was there for a season. Yes.
All right, I didn't remember Cindy. All right, I'll take my 3 points.
So,
I'm taking 3 points.
3 out of 4. That was good, G. That was good. Okay, here we go.
Right.
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
That's the Christmas.
I know it well.
Okay, the Christmas movie. Who was the star? What was Macaulay Culkin's first name? Or excuse me, name on the show? And what was the bad guy's name on the show?
Okay.
So what was
Macaulay Culkin's name
on that show?
All
movie,
right.
Excuse me.
Y'all rock with me. Picture the mother on the plane. She just remembers she left a kid behind, and she shouts, "Kevin!" So his name was Kevin on the show.
Yeah.
Now you said also the name of the
bad guys.
Of the bad guys,
Yeah.
like their individual names, like what they're.
No, what they called themselves. They said we're gonna go by They had a little nickname.
Okay.
They called themselves the.
They were the cat burglars. The
cat. You sound like
They should have been.
Crazy.
They were the bandits.
Yes. They started out with the wet bandits. And then they started calling themselves the Sticky Bandits. Remember when they poured all the bird food on them and everything? Yeah.
Okay. I was all right. I'll take a quarter point.
There you go. You're doing good.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
This is gonna be a good one.
I'm not killing it like I did last week, Teef.
It's okay.
All right. Okay.
The movie Willy Wonka.
Yes.
There were 2 girls. What were their names? And the main character, what was his name?
Okay. Violet. You're turning violet, Violet.
Yes,
so I remember Violet because she ate that gum.
Yes,
I always remember that. And the other one's name was with a V is it's Veruca. Y'all better be home clapping for me because I'm soup right now.
Goodness.
All right, so we got Veruca and Violet, and then the main character's name is Charlie because it's Charlie and the Chocolate
Charlie,
Factory.
what was his last name?
No, you know I don't have that.
Buckets.
Oh, I should have known that too. A little more than 5 seconds, I would have gotten it.
All right, here we go. Let me give you another one. Let me see what I got. The movie Goonies.
I know Goonies very well.
The characters. The Asian kid. What was his name? They called him a nickname. Now I know you know the chunky kid. What was his name?
Chunk.
Everybody said that's why I didn't give you that one. That's why I didn't give you that one. What was the Asian kid's name?
Dang, nabbit.
They had a nickname for him.
I don't.
They said that's 00 negative. They call him 00 negative.
Like 007.
Yeah, instead of he was the opposite of 007, right? Because he was always messing up gadgets.
I should have called. I would have tried. I was about to guess Inspector Gadget, but I knew that wasn't it. All right.
And
you got me.
The last one.
Okay.
It was a movie in the 80s. Police Academy. Give me 3 characters in that movie. Everyone loved Police Academy. 3 characters.
I don't know characters' names.
Names.
Teef, I know what characters did. There's a guy who could do sounds. I don't know his name.
Oh yeah.
There was the other character. She was really soft spoken, and then one day she just got real loud and scared everybody. And that's it. I don't know the names. Okay. I was too young. I was just a mere babe.
We were in middle school.
No, I was a mere babe.
Yeah. She was a babe. So the baby, the soft-spoken girl name, or lady, excuse me, name was Hooks.
Nah, I didn't remember that, man.
And then you had Hightower.
Oh, I didn't even reference Hightower. Yeah, he was the big guy.
And then you had Taggart. Remember, he was the crazy one with the guns, always shooting up stuff.
Oh, I didn't remember him. Did I mention him? I didn't mention him.
I don't even know if you remember him. But those are the ones. And the one you're talking about name was Lavelle. Lavelle something.
He's the one that had all the sound effects? Yeah. Look at you got skills.
Everybody loved him, right? So, so him and I'm trying to remember the star name, the guy, the main guy.
I know I don't know. Y'all know I don't know.
But G, you did well.
Thank you.
Last week you got them all. This
I'm trying. I'm still on the comeback tour. I'm gonna get there.
Now,
yes,
we're gonna get ready for Mr. Tony Terry.
All right, Terry, y'all get ready.
I hope you guys are ready. You ready? Here we go. Welcome to Jazzy Conversations. I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
And G, you excited?
Yes, I'm excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, look who we have on the screen. Mr. Tony Terry.
Welcome to the show.
There you go. How you doing, Tone?
Huh?
How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I feel great. I'm doing well.
We're so honored and happy to have you. Mm-hmm. And Gigi was just stealing your song. When I'm with you.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you get that all the time, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, yeah.
Before we even begin, Tony, both of us, I was just telling G about it. Can we both give a shout out to our friend, my sister, your friend, Casey Champion? Is she the best or what?
Absolutely. She's absolutely the best.
That's my sister. Did you know she was a track star in college? Did she tell you that?
No, she didn't tell me that. Now I'm going to have to challenge her out in the parking lot.
Well, you've definitely been keeping in shape. You still running and working out, I see.
I am. I'm trying to hold on to her for an old player.
You got to hold on.
There you go.
You're looking good.
So what we're going to do, Tone, we're going to go through the process. We want to just find out your background, what you got going on now. We want you to tell us everything. Also, if you're coming to Connecticut, Mohegan, Foxwoods, wherever you're coming, let us know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So let's start at the beginning. Where you originally from?
I'm born in a place called Southern Pines, North Carolina, which is actually a golf town.
Okay.
It's a what town?
I don't play golf.
It's a golf town.
Golf town.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now you don't play golf. Now you was raised there. What's the biggest city near there?
Let me see. Southern Pines. The largest city near there would be probably Fayetteville.
Oh, Fayetteville.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Which might be an hour away.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Here, yeah.
Now, did you go to school down there? Did you go to college?
Well, no, actually, every year, my manager called me. Every year, I would spend my my summers, or me and my sisters. Originally, there was 6 grandchildren.
Okay.
And my 3 cousins. And interestingly, my cousins and I, we share the same bloodline in that my mother and her brother married my father and his sister. Does that make sense?
No, we're trying. We're
Yeah,
trying.
I'll put it together,
We're putting
G.
it together. It's
My mom married my dad. My mom's brother married my dad's sister.
okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
understand. I do understand.
We got
that.
it.
Yes.
We got it now.
Yes. Okay.
So now the offspring, we have the same grandparents. We have the same everything. The original 6 grandchildren, which was us, and we would spend all of our summers with grandma in North Carolina, and then we'd go back to Maryland and DC to go to school in the fall.
Okay. Oh, so you didn't stay in North Carolina. You moved up north a little bit.
I did, but I went to school in DC, but I have to claim both places as home because, I spent quite a bit of time in both places growing up.
Okay. Now, what part of DC? Northeast?
Northwest, Northeast, Southeast, Southwest.
Okay. I have family in Northeast. That's why.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Now, did you play any sports? I'm sorry.
I grew up in DC under Mayor Marion Barry.
Oh, during those times. Those were troubling times. Yeah.
If Marion Barry was alive today, he would be the mayor of DC.
Wow. So he was beloved. I mean, he had his troubles, but he was beloved. Yeah.
That's how much we revered him. I mean, he was the man. He had a lot of, but who doesn't?
Right.
But he did wonderful things for the city. And one of the things that I benefited from the most was that he initiated a program called the Summer Youth Employment Program. And that program got all of the children in the DMV, Maryland, just DC, Maryland, and Virginia, jobs for the summer.
Yeah.
Everybody who was 14 to 17 got a paid full-time summer job.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful. We have something similar to that in New Haven. It's called Youth at Work. So it's very, very similar, and it is a program that people cling to because it's a work experience that otherwise kids wouldn't have a job or that experience. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But my job was to be a part of a crew called the Everyman Street Theater Company. Oh. And what we would do is rehearse 10 to 12 hours every day.
Okay.
And then we would go out into the community and do full productions. Like we'd go into neighborhoods that would not have an opportunity otherwise to see, theater, to experience theater. And we would do the full show with lights, sound, costumes. We go right in the middle of the street, block off the street, set it up, and do it for an hour and a half. And then the next day at another place in the city. Wow. And it was amazing. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Fame.
Of course.
Fame? Of course.
Yeah. So, Fame was actually, the subject of Fame was the Duke Ellington School of the Arts in Washington, although it was set in New York City. New York. And Debbie Allen was a teacher at Duke Ellington. And she was one of my teachers.
Wow.
And she opened the show by saying, if you want it, it starts here with sweat. You know what I mean?
That's the beginning of Fame. Right. That's in the opening credits.
And that's really what we went through. That's what we experienced. But it was such a joy. We had so much fun and the camaraderie. Even after the 12 hours of rehearsal, we still didn't want to go home.
Yeah. Wow.
Now at the age I am, I'm trying to leave after 4 hours.
We get it.
Do they have does that program exist still in like Shakespeare, you're shaking your head? No.
Wow.
Oh, that's too bad. It sounds like it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really was. And it prepared us the real world. I mean, I've been working since 1900 and, let me see, 1984.
Okay.
I've worked consistently since that time. And
That's a blessing.
I attribute that to my foundation, you know, the work I got from Duke Ellington, and my passion for what I do. I love it.
Yeah. Wow. That is beautiful.
Now, Duke Ellington School, you guys have some famous alumni there,
like Tony Terry.
Tony Terry, exactly. Who else?
Dave Chappelle.
That's right. That's a big one.
Anthony Anderson. Denise Graves, who was the star of the Metropolitan Opera. She sat next to me every day in class.
Wow.
Thought she was. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Front of camera talent, and then you have the behind the camera talent, the writers, and the producers and the tech crew. Right. A lot of those guys came out of Duke Ellington, went on to Howard University and other Black schools, and then went into their field and are doing really, really, really well today.
Yeah, yeah. A big shout out to those that are working behind the scenes, because a lot of people they fail. You know, they think that success means you're on this side of the camera, but all those people that learn the production and all those technical skills. Yeah.
Absolutely. Which, by the way, AI, artificial intelligence, is threatening. Yes. I don't know if you got familiar with the controversy that's going on with artificial intelligence and the film and television industry.
Yeah, it's a scary future that we're looking at.
We were actually just talking about.
I went into the studio last week because I'm working on my show stems, which is like my backing vocals for when I do live performances.
Okay.
Recreated. And when I got to the studio, my engineer was like, listen to this. He played me this song. That was an absolute smash, cold-blooded hit record. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, who was that? Who was singing? He said, nobody.
That's the scary part.
What are you talking about? He said, that's a computer-generated synthesized voice, which actually sounded human. And artificial intelligence wrote, played, and sang the song.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's scary to me.
It is. It's so advanced now. There was I think, a bit of a controversy with this record that came out purporting to be R. Kelly, saying that he was guilty, admitting his guilt.
Right.
You remember that?
I do. And they said that they had recorded, they'd actually recreated his voice through AI.
How they do it, they can take a recording, a finished record, and load it up into this program. And then it learns your voice. It learns how you sing. And it can do a whole album. They can record a whole Tony Terry album without Tony.
Yeah, I've heard of that. How do you feel about that as a recording artist? And how do you all work against this if that's your plan? Like, what's the plan?
It's very scary. A lot of people aren't even paying attention, unfortunately. Most people aren't paying attention. They're too busy getting their hair done and their nails done on their phone and just really not paying attention. When I bring up the subjects, I'm often blown off by, even some of my friends. I'm like, they're like, man, stop tripping. I'm like, y'all better pay attention because it's about to jump off and y'all are not even going to know what to do when it happens.
Put a whole lot of people out of work, potentially.
Yeah,
we've seen that. We've seen that.
Elon Musk issued an internal memo to his company suggesting that they stop or slow down the development of the next evolution of artificial intelligence.
Good luck.
It's too smart.
It's a Pandora's box, though. Once you open some of these things, it's really hard to stuff it back in the box. Good luck.
Because while they might have regulations here in America, they don't in other parts of the world. You know what I mean?
So you wrote some of your own stuff, right? So when we think about AI chat doing some of the writing, but back in the 90s and the 80s, where we're going to talk about where you started, were you doing some of your own writing?
Yeah.
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 You
Yeah. He said, yeah.
So
know, started.
so
I
Tone,
mean,
what?
like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, how would I feel if the computer started writing my songs?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who will get the check?
Mm-hmm.
Not you.
Yeah, not you.
So you graduate from Duke Ellington.
Yeah.
Do you know what you want to do? Go into singing because you were acting as well.
Yeah. I knew my whole life what I wanted to do.
Wow.
I was never having to figure it out. I never,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. That never happened. I
Okay.
was literally been whole life, and it just the next thing happened. Just seemed like the next thing that was supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Full support of my family. I even remember my parents taking a second mortgage out on their house,
Wow.
so I could go to Philadelphia and record.
Wow.
When I was like 14,
That is
13.
wow. That is
Yeah,
support. That is
absolutely.
support. And a gift, right? They had to have seen the gift on you.
Yeah,
Now,
and the passion, because I just wouldn't stop.
yeah.
I'm one of those kids that used to sing in the fan.
I remember that too.
And look, my bedroom window was directly across from my next door neighbor's front door. and it just so happened that I would start cranking it up right when her soap operas would come on.
She didn't like that.
She was no.
Terry, shut up. Tony, keep it down.
Sure. And they didn't have air conditioning. She said they would be burning up in there.
Now, Tony, in regards
Yeah.
to you putting your demo together, did you do that yourself? How did that come about? Like, did you get?
This demo. Okay, so I started my first professional gig was a show called The Black Nativity,
Okay.
which is a show that's done somewhere in the world every year.
That's right.
I heard about this audition, but the clincher was that the founder of my high school was going to be directing the show, Mike Malone. May he rest in peace.
Okay.
And by that time, I'm friends. So I heard about the audition, but I had a job. I was managing. I graduated in 1982, and I got a job as a waiter at Howard Johnson's. And in short order, I was in the management training program. So I was there for 2 years, and but always knowing that was not going to be my career choice.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I talked my way into the management program because I convinced them that I had Howard Johnson's tattooed on my behind.
So you were a gamer too. Okay.
And so I heard about this audition, and I decided I was going. But not only was I going, but I decided that I was going to get the job, and I wasn't coming back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So at the end of my last shift, my assistant manager, I took my keys off and said, "Yo, you the boss." He was like, "Stop." I was like, "No, I'm telling you, you're the boss. I'm leaving." He did not believe me. I said, "Okay, play. I'm telling you, I'm not coming back."
Mm-hmm.
I was off to New York that night, and I got the job.
Yeah.
However, it was only paying $35 a week.
That won't get you much. Not at any point in our history.
And in
No.
New York. And in New York.
No. So I had to sleep under my dressing room table in the theater for 9 months, about 10 months.
Ooh, that is passion.
Absolutely.
That is passion.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
It was, there were about maybe 6 or 7 of us that had gotten the jobs that were from DC. So we were all there together.
Mm-hmm.
And even collectively putting our money together, we wouldn't have been able to afford a place to live.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
But the theater was gracious enough. We felt lucky to allow us to stay in the theater and sleep under our dressing room tables.
That is amazing.
We were paying our dues, but we were doing what we loved to do. We were with people that we knew, so it wasn't like this stressful foreign situation. Because I never had to sleep under. I had a bed my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
And so sleeping under my dressing room table, while it was different and it was a challenge, but the bigger picture was that I was doing what I love to do. Mm-hmm. All right. And so while I was doing that show, one of the band members that I wasn't really that familiar with, but he came up to me and he said one day, he said, I don't know about all these other people in the show, man, but you're a star. Mm. And I never really thought about that. I just wanted to work.
Yeah.
And he kept saying it. So after the show was over, I stayed in New York. I hung out with him and his girlfriend and their roommate, and I ended up moving in with them, and we worked on a demo. And I remember the song was a song called Don't Hold Out. And I had become a little frustrated with being in New York, and I decided that, okay, enough is enough. I'm going back home to DC.
And Tom, what was the name of that song?
It was called Don't Hold Out.
Don't Hold Out. What year?
1872.
I'm laughing at the title. That's why.
Yeah, it was 85.
Okay.
85. And so we go to this club the night before I was going to leave, and I meet a gentleman named Ted Courier, who is a producer. He produced Atomic Dog for George Clinton.
Oh,
I didn't know. And he gave me his card, and I held on to it. And then I called him one day, and he was excited to hear from me and wondering how come I hadn't called him prior to then. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and he invited me to the studio, and I go over there, and he has Parliament Funkadelic in the studio recording, and I was a huge fan.
Who's not?
I was like, wow. But I ended up somehow in the booth recording with those guys. And then Ted fired those guys and gave all of the vocal production work to me. And that was how it started. Whoa. And while I was recording, and the project that I was working on was the Boogie Boys, who had a record out called A Fly Girl. Mm-hmm. I think it was the first platinum rap record. Mm-hmm. So I was working on their follow-up album. While I was recording, Ted's wife comes into the studio and asks me to come into a conference room and sing for some people that were there. I didn't know who they were. And I'd been singing for a couple of hours, so I was good and warm. And so I went in and did what they wanted me to do. I sang for them, and I left that room with a 7-album deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even know. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
I wasn't nervous because I didn't know who the people were.
Well, you didn't know you were auditioning. You didn't even know that's what was going on.
I did not know that I was auditioning.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. I did not know that I was auditioning. And the rest was history. So I was signed to Epic Records with Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross, and Tina Marie. Wow. Mm-hmm. They didn't know what to do with me until my first record came out, and then kind of took off. And then they were like, okay, we see. We got it now. Mm-hmm. And so that's what happened, and the rest was history. My first single was She's Fly, then Lovey Dovey, then Forever Yours, then Young Love from the first album, and then Head Over Heels. And then it was time to choose the second single, and I chose With You. Mm-hmm. And the label did not want that to be the case. They were not interested in that song, but I wasn't having it any other way. Mm-hmm. And so I insisted. And so I guess they were trying to teach me a lesson or something. But they released, back in the day, radio was serviced with vinyl. Mm-hmm. And so they released my record with a white label, a blank label, no information on it. In fact, there's a couple copies of it on eBay that the people have sold theirs. It was blank. It just had handwriting on it. Mm-hmm. And to me, that would have made that record stand out even more. Because it was the only one in the pile that didn't have a label on it.
Right,
What's this?
Right. It's almost intriguing, right? Like,
And that is exactly what happened.
Yeah. Huh.
The record started growing and living on its own. We had no support of the record company. Mm-hmm. And then one day I walked into my manager's office and the phone was ringing, and I answered it because our receptionist was not at her desk. And it was Anita Baker. Ooh. And I didn't know Anita Baker. And so I didn't believe that it was her.
And when was this? Around what year?
This was in 1990. because
and Anita
no,
Baker was
89,
Yeah, she was
89, 90
huge.
because
she
Yeah.
was flying. And
yeah,
yes.
yeah, she called looking for me,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking it's a joke, so but I'm gonna go along with it.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's telling me that she's heard the song and she loved it. And she hadn't seen the video and she wondered why. And I told her that the label didn't, still not believing that I was talking to Anita Baker.
Hmm.
I told her that the label didn't think the record was a hit. And she was like, those people are mad. They're absolutely crazy. And then she said, I'm going to send you $50,000 and I'm going to need you to shoot a video for it. I
So,
was like, what?
listen, I got to interrupt you. I have to interrupt you, Mr. Terry, because you said at the beginning that you always knew what you were going to do. Now, this
Mhm.
stream of events is verification, right? That this is what you're supposed to do. Secretary's
Yes.
not there. You answer the phone. It's Anita
Yes.
Baker with
Wow.
money
Yes.
for you. Like this is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it
Great
was
story.
phenomenal. She
Hmm.
called Blair Underwood because he was a friend of hers and she wanted him to direct, and he agreed to do so.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, that was in 1989,
Hmm.
and about 2 months ago, Blair called me to come sing at his wedding, and I hadn't seen him since 1989.
Oh my
Wow. Oh,
So in
goodness.
that's
about
cool.
3 weeks, I'm gonna go to Cancun to sing at his wedding. Sing at his wedding.
Oh, well, congratulations, Mr. Blair
That's cool.
Underwood,
That's
on
cool.
your
Wow.
nuptials.
Wow.
Yeah,
So when
Wow.
that song dropped,
Ugh.
okay, you heard it. Did you know immediately? You know that it was a hit?
yeah. I knew it was a hit when I heard it as a demo.
Mhm.
Like I knew that it was a special song. And then there's a story behind that too, because the guy that wrote it, Raymond Reeder, we have kind of the same social circle in that he's from DC, he's a musician. He's a little bit older than me. But we knew basically the same people.
Mhm.
And he played the song for me, and I stopped it right away, kind of like halfway through the first verse. And I was like, when are we going to record the song? And I asked him, why did he write it? And he was like, Vivian. Of course, I knew Vivian because in my mind at that time, Vivian was my girlfriend, but I
Oh,
was too scared to talk to her.
you still
Uh,
in my mind.
and he had a crush on her. So he wrote the song about her.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
I thought,
this is his version of Just My Imagination.
yeah,
Running away.
Yeah. That's a good one, G.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Wow.
Such a beautiful song. I remember hearing rumors that it was about somebody's daughter, that it wasn't
my
really romantic, but that it was about a
times I've cleared that rumor up.
yeah.
I
And
didn't write it. I wish I had, but no, I didn't write it.
no, but you sang it. You
Yes,
sang.
you did. You sang that song.
Let me tell you the
Absolutely.
part. Let me tell you the part that I'm sitting here. I'm very like intrigued that first of all, you got a 7 album deal with no
Yeah,
representation, no agent, no
right,
manager, nothing on your own.
right.
That's huge.
It was, but I didn't realize how huge it was at the time, and we didn't have social media,
That's
so we
crazy.
couldn't. It was no letting the world know that it went down like this because
Hmm.
it just happened, and then we were off to the races.
No connect.
And you were
Wow.
what, about 20? You're in your early 20s at this point.
I was 20,
Oh my goodness. So young. So that's
and
amazing.
I'm
Yeah.
about to be 60. I'm 50.
Wow. You don't look it. You
Oh
don't
my
look it.
God! Don't remind me. Okay? Please do not remind.
Now let me tell you this, Tone. Honestly, my favorite song on that album,
Yeah.
I love that one, but Everlasting Love is probably my favorite.
And Everlasting Love was at the time my least favorite.
Wow.
Wow.
Why
In
do you say
fact,
what was it? Why was that your least
I
favorite?
just didn't like it like everyone
Hmm.
else did.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
think it.
love
I
that
didn't
song.
could have been a single at the time, but now I'm grateful that they didn't listen to me,
Yeah.
and it was chosen as the single. But the guy that I wrote that with, Bobby Reese, he kept saying this song is anointed. You
Mm.
Yeah.
how many people are gonna bless, and it came to be true.
Yeah.
Now the question I want to ask you, is that a church song or is that I mean, because it could go
It
either
It is.
has
way.
spirit, right? It
It's
has like a spiritual
a
love
song.
connotation. Yeah.
It's an inspirational song that was given a secular treatment, an
Mm-hmm.
R&B record.
Okay.
Yeah, the video confirms that because the video doesn't give the spiritual side. The video is
okay.
definitely like
Let
an
me see the
amorous
video.
love. Yeah,
Right.
but you can hear it in those lyrics.
Ab-
Absolutely.
Wow. We are so amazed and honored to have you on the screen.
Oh my
We just want to
goodness.
thank you for coming on. But before we end,
You know I don't like this part of the
she
show. I
doesn't
don't
like
like
this
saying
part.
goodbye.
We don't. She doesn't like saying goodbye. But I know you have a schedule. And before
yeah.
we end, my partner has 3 important questions to ask you.
So I'm going to
Okay.
ask you, what are the top 3 podcasts that you listen to or subscribe to?
That's an interesting question. While I do listen to quite a few podcasts, like I only listen to talk radio when I'm in my car. I don't music because I'm always working on music, and when I'm in the car, I don't want to hear
Something else. Give
anybody.
me something else.
I can't say. I don't. You stumped me with that one.
Okay. But this is a good podcast right here. So this will be one of your top 3, right?
Jazzy
On down,
Conversations.
on down, on
I'm
down. Let me
going to
say,
take that.
Tone, you the man. You the man.
Absolutely.
Now this is open dialogue section right here. Please tell us what you got going on. Are you writing any books? Are you going to be in Connecticut? Or are you? Tell us.
I just got home today from Wilmington, Delaware,
Okay.
where I starred in a play called The Entanglement,
Oh.
which obviously was ripped from the headlines,
Woo.
and it was amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. This weekend, I just got back today, and then this morning, I booked the Tom Joyner Fantastic Voyage cruise that's leaving on Saturday.
All right.
One
Nice.
of these years I'm
Congratulations.
getting on that.
Yeah.
One year I'm going to get on that
Right
cruise.
back to, which I'm not mad at.
Congratulations.
And of course, I'm working on new music, a new album. I have a project that I've developed called Conversations Among Kings, which is just a gathering of about 5 or 6 regular brothers from different income brackets, different tax brackets, just fellowshipping.
Yes.
All right. We're talking to each other about things that go beyond. While we do talk about women, sports, and cars, we go beyond the traditional, women, sports, and cars conversation.
Yeah.
We talk about matters of the heart. We pray with each other. We talk about each other.
Yeah.
If you're late, you're late. And so what it is, it's a meeting of brothers, because the whole point is to encourage men to talk.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I love this so much.
Men, we don't talk.
Yeah.
And so we kind of thought maybe if we can get us talking to each other, that would be, the beginning of something. And we would bring in a camera, but we're not doing a show for the cameras.
Okay.
We're meeting for us and allowing the cameras to peek in.
All right.
So if somebody walks in late, they walk in late. It's okay. If somebody's smoking a blunt while we're then they're smoking a blunt. If they're having a drink, it's that real.
Right. Right. Just men being
and
men.
We're talking about taxes. We're talking about finance. We're talking about banking. We're talking about, life matters, heart issues of the heart. And you know what? Oftentimes, especially men, we go through things alone. We don't want to. Our pride won't let us tell people that our heart is hurting, or we're going through something, or I need some help. Pride will take you out of the game. But through this whole fellowship thing with Conversations Among Kings, we realize that when we do start talking, that we have a lot of the same concerns, a lot of the same issues, and we've never had anybody to talk to. When you were a child, how many people asked you, "How are you doing?"
That really asked you, really waited for a real response, right?
No, they don't ask children how they're doing.
No.
But children have issues and have feelings and emotions and questions and concerns and situations that they have to work out. But no one asks them how they're doing.
Yeah, I love this.
No one checks on, let me check on my child and see how he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about schoolwork. I'm like, hey, like now my son is 16. I'm always like, yo, I'm like eyeball to eyeball. How you feeling? What's going on with you? You good? Like, I want to see if he's telling me the truth, if it's going through something. You got any issues with your friends? Something happening at school? What's happening?
Wow.
Fortunately, my son is a straight A student who has not even given me a reason to take my belt off, not one
All
time.
right.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
That is good.
Beautiful.
I hope that what you're modeling would be generational, right? And that when he has children, it will be what you've demonstrated will be carried through. That is
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Oh, and you know, I do it. My son, I deal with my son the way that I do because of the way that my father dealt with me. My father loved me to the moon and back. He just didn't know how to say it. And he didn't know how to say it because nobody told him they loved him when he was a child. You feel me?
I do.
Absolutely,
I do.
absolutely.
We got to articulate it. Kids, sometimes feeling it is one thing, but you're talking about articulating how you feel as a man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so when I decided I was going to break the cycle, even with my father, and when I would call home and I would end the conversation by saying, "Dad, I love you." When I first started doing that,
Awkward.
it was very awkward
Uh-huh.
because he'd be like,
What to do with that?
the very first time he was like, "Yeah, yeah, okay, son." But then, you know, he gradually got accustomed to it, and then we got to the point where we were just calling each other just to say, "I love you."
Yeah.
That's it.
Ugh.
Great
I
day.
love this. I
But I
love
had to break
this.
to rethink it. We had to just do it differently on purpose.
Intention. I
Yeah.
love that. I love it. I love what you're doing.
So your son, how does he feel about his dad being Tony Terry?
He does not give a hill of beans
You know?
about
He's dad. You're dad,
Okay,
right?
okay, gotcha.
That's dad.
He knows you travel and you got celebrity friends. He does know that, right?
Of course, yeah. And he's familiar with my work. I mean, my son, I'm starting to think has an old spirit. He's turning me on to Jackson 5 songs that I never heard of that I like. I'm like, well, how you know about this? Like, you didn't hear this from me because I never heard this before.
Teaching you some things.
Teaching me that. Last year, he asked me for a new computer for school, and I was like, okay, well, let's go shopping and pick out the one you want. He was like, nah, I think I want to build my own.
Oh wow.
Well, I don't. That didn't come from me. I don't have computer.
Wow.
That had to come.
Did he do it? Did he work on
Yes,
that? Wow.
he did.
Impressive.
Absolutely.
I say it's impressive because I can barely figure out how to work my phone, but that's the generation I'm from. I'm always impressed with people with those tech skills.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tony, we're getting a cue from our producer. We got about 3 minutes. So listen, when are you coming to Connecticut? Are you coming to Connecticut anywhere? Mohegan,
Please come to
Foxwoods?
Connecticut.
I hope so that I'll be coming up there. I had an inquiry to come up to Mohegan Sun, but I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it panned out or, but, fortunately, and I'm really grateful to still be working, that people are interested in what I do in my music and even my testimony. And I say that I have to give all glory to God. That doesn't have anything to do with me. The fact that With You became a song that has become the part of the fabric of so many people's lives, I couldn't possibly take the credit for that.
It's beautiful.
I have to
Oh,
give
glory to God. I love it.
Absolutely.
It's a perfect sentiment to make room for.
I would be foolish to think that I had anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh,
well,
my
listen, on
goodness.
behalf of Jazzy Conversations, I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
Tony Terry, have a great night. Thank you so much
you
for coming
so
on.
much. Anytime.
A
Thank
dope
you.
conversation. I loved it.
Take care. Have a good night.
All right, y'all.
All right. You know I don't want to say goodbye.
I know. Gee, I was so excited to have him.
Oh my goodness.
Well-spoken gentleman.
What a humble guy. I really love that project that he's working on. I'm hearing little buds of that sort of work populating, like men getting together just to talk.
Absolutely.
Right? Not for the camera, but men just needing to not have women around just talk what y'all want to talk.
And he was talking about his son, that relationship between his son, father and son. I love that. I love you. I love you. I love that.
Yeah.
Listen, another hit.
We got, I say this after every
We have to have
every
him back.
guest,
We have to
but
have him back.
I mean it every time. We have to have him back,
G.
and I hope he's coming to Mohegan Sun.
Absolutely. And next week we have another amazing guest. We want you guys to tune in. All right. Have a great night. Take care. On behalf of Jazzy Conversations, I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
Have a great night. Take care.